Going on, it is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Could I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Good morning. It is Feel Good Friday. I just saw that I set the time for 10 p.m. So it is 10 a.m. every single day, Monday through Friday. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me. How the show is going to flow today, I'm going to ask you to ask me some questions. We're going to throw it on the board. And I'm actually going to take some calls. So later on in the show, when you see the call-in line on the screen, call into the show and give me your take on what you want to talk about going into the weekend. And I know that this Alabama basketball versus Auburn, this game is on your mind. You want to do some score predictions for basketball? That's fine with me. And happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Get the flowers. Get the love notes. Get the chocolates. Happy wife. Happy life. I appreciate you guys being here. Definitely get inside the poll today. I just said basically who wins on Saturday, Alabama and Auburn. It's never happened before. This is clearly the best conference in America, the SEC. So much on the line, so much at stake with this game this weekend. But really, I mean, these two teams are going to tangle. I would imagine they tangle. Shoot, could you imagine if they play 4 times this year, right? Once here in Coleman, another time in Auburn, meet for the SEC championship, meet for the, I don't know, meet for the championship of college basketball this year. Who knows? I mean, that's how good that these teams are, right, this year. We're about to find out who will kind of be the number one kind of king of the jungle on Saturday, all right? I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Good morning to you, Rocket Town, Chris in New Jersey. What's up, man? I said in the back end of the show, I'm going to have the phone lines open. So if you want to call, hit me up. Dressed up a little bit today, kind of dressed for success. Had the workout in this morning, got the kids off. And I'm actually going to a little men's prayer group at noon. So looking forward to it. This might be my first time going there. Kaylin Childress, I never seen you inside the comment box before. What's up? Coming to us from Wichita? That's what's good. Room Pools straight up is like, is Austin Mack hitting the portal? You're asking the big questions right now, right out the jump. In the news, Alabama will be sending more than a handful of players to the NFL Combine. NFL Combine happens at the end of the month into March. You also have Alabama's Pro Day, right, which will be sometime in March, along with spring football. Those windows sometimes kind of parallel. You'll have a couple players who might not have been invited to the Combine, which is in Indianapolis, still showcase here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Tons of coaches will be here from the NFL, GMs, things like that. I guess leading off the show real quick is clearly, we all know this. The person that has the most to gain from this NFL Combine is clearly Jalen Milroe, right? He didn't have the best game against Michigan. He didn't have the best performance in the Reese's Senior Bowl. But I still feel that he can really increase his NFL draft stock, right? Because he's completely out of, first round for the most part from what I've seen. But let's look, regardless of how you felt about him and what he did on the field, there's nobody else probably in college football that is going to this NFL Combine that can increase their draft stock more than Jalen Milroe just because of his overall abilities and the physicality that he has, right? Like, what if this guy runs like a 4.3? Who's like the fastest quarterback ever at the NFL Combine? I mean, that's how fast he is. They're going to throw some one-on-one stuff. I'm not really worried about that. I mean, I'm sure that, his arm strength is everything that's cooked up to be. But I think that the biggest thing about Milroe is just kind of processing defenses quicker. I just recently heard an interview with Tom Brady saying before the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl that he played in, he knew every single thing that the Chiefs are going to do, even before the Chiefs. So basically they fall into coverage. He knew exactly what they're going to do, call it at the line of scrimmage, make adjustments, whatever it was. So, you can work on things as you grow. And I think, regardless how we feel, we would like to see him do well later on in his NFL career because there's been nothing better after the Super Bowl when the Eagles beat the Chiefs to kind of relish a person like Jalen Hurts and the journey that he is continuing to be on following his time at Alabama, when he went to Oklahoma, to the NFL, right? It's been very uplifting to see him continue to flourish, because this was a guy, and we can all say this, that wasn't the most polished from the jump. He had to work on his craft. He had to continue to work on his journey. Unlike a quarter, I was watching, I'm serious, I'm dead serious. This morning, I was watching some footage of Keelan Russell working out. Oh my goodness, none of these quarterbacks I guess, Tua came in pretty polished, so did Bryce Young. Bryce Young was working with, some elite quarterbacks, coaches to come in. But, man, Keelan Russell, this guy, like what he already has is what we need right now. And I know we're projecting Ty to be the starter, and it kind of makes sense why he would be. But my goodness, man, this guy, Keelan Russell coming in, and that's no disrespect to Ty, no disrespect to Austin Mack, just watching it with my own eyes, and I'm sure if you've seen it too, Keelan Russell has it. Jalen Hurts had to work to get it, and that's something that Jalen Miller was going to have to do as well. But I think Keelan Russell has it from the jump already. I think there's a couple things they need to add on to him. One of the things being a little bit more weight, but in terms of processing and in terms of his overall delivery and the quickness of how he gets the football out, movement in the pocket, I think Keelan Russell already checks all those boxes, right? 8M85 says that son tested positive for the flu. I'm sorry to hear about that. The Pedialyte, rest, Pedialyte, rest, repeat the process, hydrate. Ephraim saying that the 26th of March will be Bama's Pro Day. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I was wondering about that. Usually they kind of, release that at some point in time. Has there been an announcement on when spring football will start? I would imagine that it starts like somewhere within that first week of March. That's when it did last year. Then you have the spring break period, and then A-Day will be on the 12th of April, and then that transfer portal window is like on the 15th. Other players who I think could move up in the NFL Combine, I mean, look, I think you have two sure-shot first-round guys here on this board right here. This Jahad Campbell and I think Tyler Booker. I mean, those are guys that are going to go into the first round of the NFL draft. It'd be silly for these guys to fall out. I can't wait to see Malachi Moore perform. I think I'm not sure if he'll be 100% healthy. I think he had some sort of surgery before that Michigan game. Maybe Q-Rob. Q-Rob is a guy who could certainly shoot up. And I don't know, 8M85 inside the comment box talking about Malachi Moore. Does he seem like a first or a second? I mean, he's not a first-round guy. Second, third round. Hey, Ron G72, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, a little dressed up a little bit. Kimberly, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much. Vote inside the comment box. Who wins Alabama, Auburn? Game is Saturday. Most anticipated basketball game probably that there's ever been, which is crazy to say. Patriot Life in with 5 fan funderships. Thank you, Patriot Life. Patriot Life continues to build the community, man. Thank you so much. And when you're a fan funder, you get access to some early videos that I release. Usually I'll drop a video. I've been doing this recently, like dropping a video in the morning, kind of previewing what our 10 a.m. show is, putting some stuff behind for exclusive videos. So check it out. Robbie Oots, that dude's like 270 as a tight end. Tim Smith, loved him. Probably didn't get the notoriety that we thought he was going to get. Hopefully he gets it in due time. Coming up in about 10 minutes, I'll be opening up the phone lines and kind of having a Q&A. So you want to get inside the Q&A? Let me know what's up. And give me your take on if you want to talk Alabama football, you want to talk some basketball, you want to talk about tricks of the trade for Valentine's Day, just hit me up. I'll inform you when the call line is open. All right, let's continue to move forward. I was thinking about this, okay? So stay with me right here. So yesterday I went and got a haircut, okay? So I'm sitting there talking with the barber. And we're talking about Ryan Williams. And I came up with this, okay? So there's a couple different graphics that I want to go through. So I know that Ryan Grubb recently did an interview with Yale, Alabama, and they're talking about kind of the offensive philosophy that he's going to bring to the Alabama Crimson Tide, right? So I started thinking about this. I was like, when you look, and I'll go full screen on this, what we're looking at right here is the full receiving box of Ryan Williams, okay? And what that entails, and I'll explain it on full screen. So last year, these were the amount of times and directions on the field that Ryan Williams was targeted, right? So let's start up at the outside left. Over 20 yards, he had 1 reception out of 6, right? It was a touchdown. Between the numbers, 2 for 7. To the outside right, none. Okay, you see what I'm saying? If you go to that the lower box, 2 of 2, 8 of 10. So I was thinking about this, and I was talking with my barber, and I want to get some feedback on this because I think that one of the areas that Ryan Williams could certainly be the most impactful for Alabama is these short routes, right? I think I have the screen right here. So I really feel that if you put him in the slot position or you just get creative with him, and I'll show kind of the passing tree on this next graphic, but this short kind of 0 to 9 is, I think, where Ryan Williams could be the most impactful for Alabama going forward. And I just drew up a couple passing tree routes that I think I'd like to see from Ryan Williams. So I have no idea if he's even going to be in the slot, but if you do put him in the slot, you could do a lot of things with Ryan Williams, right? You could have him kind of on a bubble screen. You can have him on a hitch route. You can have him. I would like to see Ryan Williams be most impactful doing more things across the middle. The guy showed toughness, but I think if he gets the ball within this, under 10 range, he's so dangerous. And the reason that I say that, and I'm not saying take away the long ball from Ryan Williams, but I felt last year sometimes the offense was so predicated on just bombing it down to Ryan Williams and hoping for the best because of his playmaking ability. I say come up with more high percentage passes to Ryan Williams in that short window, have a quarterback that can read the defense, make those underneath throws to get to Ryan Williams, and let Ryan Williams' overall speed and agility do the rest. Because when this guy has the football, you hold your breath because he can make anybody miss. And I was thinking about this as well. I think he had, and this is crazy, the instincts that Ryan Williams has is similar, crazy, I know, is similar to Saquon Barkley. These guys have peripheral vision. It's like they can see behind themselves, forward at the same time. It's unbelievable. The play that he made against Georgia, Saquon Barkley, the one where he jumped over the player backwards, those are the type of things that Ryan Williams is able to do. So getting him the football more underneath that 10-yard window, I think, is going to be very impactful for Alabama. And I think that's how you rack up a ton of receptions and a ton of yards with them. You see what I'm saying? Does it make sense? I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I was talking with my barber yesterday, and I was like, it makes perfect sense to do something like that to be able to get Ryan Williams the football as many times possible. Because if this guy gets 10 receptions, who the hell knows what he's able to do, honestly. And Oceanic Jazz, I feel the same way, man. It seems like over the last 3 seasons, we really went away from those quick slant routes or crossing routes that are so effective. And get these guys the football, man. They are 4-3, 4-4 guys that once they're in space or they just make one person miss, that's it. You get some good downfield stock blocking, I don't know, turns into big things. Just something that was on my mind that I kind of wanted to bring to your attention. But, man, get him the football. Period. I don't care how you do it, but I think if you go with high percentage passes to Ryan Williams, good things are going to come. Flyby Barber says, I was in T-Town this morning working and passed by a guy with the Jesus sign. Made me think of the show. Dude, so let me give a shout out to, I call him Jesus Man. So Jesus Man, he sits by Bojangles. And he's done this, I don't know, ever since I've lived here, so 8 years. And it's on the way kind of by 5 points through Cottondale. And he has a sign that says, Jesus loves you, or Jesus will save you. And I've told this story many times, but I'll be real quick about this as well. I stopped by him and I talked to him for a few minutes. I asked him and we were just kind of, shooting the shit, talking, whatever. And I was like, have you ever been to New Mexico? I don't even know how it came up. He's like, one time. I've been to the most beautiful place that I've ever been. I'm serious. And he's like, Portales, New Mexico. That's where I was born. What? I didn't even live in Portales. I was just born there. I guess I lived there for a little while. My parents went to Eastern New Mexico. Isn't that crazy? I always think about that. So every time I pass by him, I honk the horn a couple times. Hey, Smooth, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that analysis. I was just thinking, man, get him the football more often, high percentage passes, and let him do the rest. And I think that will make Alabama's offense that more dangerous, because when teams start worrying about kind of the short intermediate passing and things across the middle, what's going to happen is you're going to have one-on-one matchups on outside. Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, a Jalen Hell. Maybe you have a Jam Miller right here kind of float out to this outside. Jam Miller's already proven that he can catch the football. So imagine Ryan Williams coming across, right? You're worried about that. You have, Isaiah Horton on a takeoff. You have Jeremy Bernard on maybe a post, right? Taking out the safeties. And you have a Jam Miller coming down the side, right? And then you do something with Josh Cuevas, which is either a seam or, you have him, stay down to chip block, right? I love talking ball. But, that's kind of when I think about the offense. You got to be able to get the fastest players and the players that are most effective to football, period. Plain and simple. Feel Good Friday. What's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. This Saturday, Alabama will host #1 Auburn Tigers, right? 3 p.m. Eastern time. And I can't wait for the game. I was talking with the guys this morning at the workout. What's amazing is how fast-paced this team continues to be, right? Alabama's averaging, 90 points. Auburn's averaging 84. I think Auburn's a 4-point favorite. Wouldn't it be crazy? I don't think this will happen. You know what? Ron 72G, I'm about to say something that is probably really crazy, and I might get flack for this. But Ron G72 inside the comment box says, who would you say is the most explosive? Ryan Williams or Jalen Waddle? Oh, man. I think Ryan Williams. And we just saw one season of him. And Jalen Waddle is like one of the rideouts. He's like on the Mount Rushmore of. That's how dangerous Ryan Williams is. I just do not feel that they used him effectively enough last year. They weren't creative enough with getting him the football. So maybe Waddle for like the overall production with what he's done, but like Ryan Williams, I think will have more playmaking ability than a lot of these receivers that we've ever seen here. And that's just it. Okay, so if you're watching Alabama and Auburn this Saturday, and you have to, type A, but let me just ask you. Type Y inside the comment box if you think Alabama beats Auburn this Saturday. Smooth. So the line is 1.5. Thank you so much. I didn't see that. Thank you so much. If you think Alabama beats Auburn, type Y inside the comment box. If you think no, type no. See, Jason's saying Waddle. Smooth saying Waddle. See, I know. I'm probably get flagged for that. I just feel, from what I saw, I just kind of have a feeling, man, that this guy has playmaking ability like we haven't even seen before. That was a very good question. Chris just typed in A. It means Alabama, but I didn't want to say A because then Auburn's A. Joni Broom, I would imagine that he's playing. I know he's been a little bit banged up, but I would imagine he's playing as anybody else. I was listening to like another podcast as well. It was the 247 podcast. You had a guy for Alabama and a guy for Auburn just talking, younger guys. They were doing a really good job. But they were kind of talking about the history of Alabama basketball and about, Auburn. And clearly those guys have never seen these two teams play number one versus number two. Nobody has. And I feel that with this matchup, while I do feel that Alabama has the edge because of home court, let me hit on this real quick. Bruce Pearl, when Auburn made that hire, they kind of took it up, right? I continue to say this all the time. No matter how you feel about Bruce Pearl, all that stuff aside, is he a good basketball coach? Is he an elite basketball coach? Yes, he is. 100%. And they had the better basketball coach in the state of Alabama. Okay? Alabama had the better football coach because they had Nick Saban. In order for Alabama to equalize this or to get into the game, Greg Byrne saw something, and I don't agree with a lot of things that Greg Byrne says or does, but you have to give this guy a really high mark on who he brought in as the basketball coach, because when Nate Oates first came in, I don't think a lot of people knew who Nate Oates was other than kind of, maybe picking Buffalo once in a while in your NCAA bracket. Now, Alabama has not only equalized in terms of coaching, I think Nate Oates is, this is another opportunity, at least the back end of the season, for Nate Oates to kind of go up above Bruce Pearl quickly, too. Now, they'll play, a few more times, I'm predicting, this year. And Nate Oates so far has the edge over Bruce Pearl and, the matchups that they've had. But that's one of the things that Greg Byrne did. And Nate Oates is certainly delivering. Now, head-to-head, when these two teams go at it, there's I think the fact that Alabama has home court advantage. I just wish that, and I've said this before too, I feel this game will be electric inside Coleman, but Coleman doesn't have an electric feel because of kind of that baseline representation. It kind of gets a little bit sleepy and not as hostile as I'd like it to be. Like the court side, I get it. You have to put all your A-list people there, but I think they could strategically do that a little bit better to put maybe those people on one side and then maybe have the students like breathing on you. Can you imagine, Crimson Angel inside the comment box, if Holloway goes crazy? Hey, Ricky, the second, man, what's up? I appreciate it. But when we look at this matchup head-to-head, I mean, clearly this game is going to – I would imagine – I'm predicting this game goes into overtime. I think it'll be settled in overtime, serious. I think it'll be that tight. The whole way through, I think it'll be electric. I think this will be the best basketball game. This game will deliver 100 million %. Herman points out that Pearl's teams are really good, and then kind of in the tournament, they kind of fizzle out. A couple years ago, one of my proudest moments as a New Mexico State alum was when the Aggies took Bruce Pearl and Auburn in like 4 overtimes or something. I thought New Mexico State was going to win that game. Hey, D, what's up? See you inside the comment box. Short game, what's going on? Short game points out that Duke is the best team this year. Sorry, roll tide roll. I mean, shoot, the ACC's, that Clemson team is good. Oh, Rocket Sound. I didn't even think about that. Pearl was named Bruce Pearl. That's definitely not why I named my little angel Pearl. But now that you pointed it out, I guess I could have peach and oats. That'd be hilarious. Nicole, what's up? Roll Tide. Timothy's saying whoever scores first to 90 wins. Baller Man's like, we need to limit our turnovers to 12. That's almost comical to think because this team turns the ball over so frequently. It's just kind of like the fabric of this year's team. All right, if you have to pick headlines on how Sunday will read from this game, what would you say? And who do you think will be the MVP? Headlines for Sunday after this game and your MVP. By the way, if you're coming to the area or if you live in the area, it looks like the weather on Saturday in the evening time could get a little dicey. So be safe if you're on the road, if you're driving back to Auburn, whatever, be safe. There's plenty of places to, stay here in Tuscaloosa to eat at, but the weather looks pretty dangerous on Saturday night. Be safe. Let's see. I'm going to say if we're predicting headlines for Sunday, I don't know. Let's see. Let's go with Alabama wins overtime thriller. Bruce Pearl kicked out of game. Couple technicals, he's out. And my MVP, I'll go with you know who rises up in big games for Alabama is Grant Nelson. Grant Nelson comes up like you need a big, and his performance has been much better consistently this year than it was last year. But if you stay with me here, and they got a hell of a stretch. But in big time games, Grant Nelson comes with it, man. He's got big game ability. And once they win this game, or if they lose this game, that back end stretch that they have is crazy. Winning this game, okay, great. You're the new number one. But the back end, you still play like 6 consecutive top 20 teams. All right. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. You guys call in. Let me know what you want to talk about. You can go round the horn. And if you just have a question while the phone lines are heating up, go ahead and drop them inside the comment box. So if you have a question that you want me to answer, now is a good time. 95% believe that Alabama will beat Auburn. Anybody have one question? I got a couple calls already. I just want to pay attention to the chat box. Sammy, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Kaylin Childress, what's up? Bruce Pearl losing to Yale. All right. Okay. Here we go. It's Feel Good Friday. It's phone call Friday, and we open the phone lines up, and we take Chris from New Jersey batting leadoff out of New Jersey, standing 6'1", 195 pounds, known for making golden mashed potatoes. Chris from New Jersey. Chris, what's up, man?
That is fantastic. Happy Friday to you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I hope you and T have some grand plans.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Well, one is I'm calling because I think that Grubb is a home run hire. I think all of a sudden now, let the haters hate. We love the rat poison, but Bama's back in the natty discussion, or at least we will be after like one game. And I want to say, you know who I want to be the quarterback, Kyle? I don't care. I don't care. I just want to win. I'm praying it's tie equals Mac Jones 2-0.
Yeah.
And then Keelan is Bryce 2-0, but gets us a natty, and gives them a year under Grubb, and puts on 20, 25 pounds of muscle, and then we get two natties out of him. That's wishful thinking, but if that's the case, hey, by the way, if Keelan crushes it in the A-Day game, I don't care if he starts. I don't care. I'm not. I went to the mattresses Milrow. I'm over that part. But I'll say this. Talking about Ryan Williams and the explosive plays that he had. When they said to Sheridan, and is this on Sheridan and Milrow? Yes. When they said you got to get the ball to Ryan Williams, your playmaker, he stared him down and forced the ball to him in a game. I mean, remember we were going like, what are you doing? He literally threw the ball into triple coverage to Ryan Williams. Now, Ryan Williams is probably one of the greatest wide receivers that Alabama's ever had in the end. But you can't throw in a triple coverage for anybody. Jerry Rice. I mean, we can go on and on, Kyle. So, all right. Anyway, and I just have one last thing I want to say on Friday. This is probably going to upset a lot of people.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't upset you, or I hope it doesn't upset a lot of people in the undefeated in the chat. And you'll laugh when we finally do meet this year, Kyle. But I am not in the mafia, Kyle.
Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah.
I do have a white robe, though. I have a white robe, a Tony Soprano robe, but I hate to break it to the people in the chat. I'm just, although I am half Italian, I am not in the mafia.
Oh man, that's the most disappointing news I heard on a Friday, man. I was looking, I was looking forward to that, man. All right, Chris. Well, I appreciate you chiming in, man.
Kyle,
go ahead.
Please tell the chat that I have not strong-armed you into being the leadoff. So it has no pressure from the mafia. It just happens to fall that way, brother. So, all right, listen, have a happy Friday. Bama's going to win tomorrow. Keep up their wonderful work. Roll Tide.
All right, man. Take it easy. All right, that was Chris coming from New Jersey. Yeah, he's when I first started talking to him, I asked him what he does, like for a living. He told me waste management. So I was like, huh, kind of made sense that, but he's saying he's not in the mob. I mean, that's what it is. All right, next on the phone lines, let's take it 256. All right, good morning. You're on line with Kyle Anderson. Who am I on line with and where are you calling in from?
Ben McFry's calling in from Huntsville.
What's up, man? I appreciate you joining the show, man. Welcome on in, man, and good to talk to you, man. It's been a minute. Happy New Year for 2025, man, but come with it, man. Welcome on in.
Hey, we got to talk about that game tomorrow, though.
Give us a couple of things that you're looking forward to about tomorrow, because the anticipation for this game in Tuscaloosa through the roof. It's never happened before. Give us a couple storylines that you're looking at between Alabama and Auburn taking place on Saturday.
Number one versus number two, SEC best rivalry in college basketball right now. Best. You can't ask for better. This is like a national championship.
Yep.
I'll say this: if it's in the 60s or 70s, I think Auburn has an advantage. But if I think it gets into a shootout, which I think it could, and I think it will, I think Alabama wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because Auburn can score, but they're just not consistent. We see them win 60 to 70 games, but have we seen Auburn win the 90 to 100 games?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they've even been in a game like that. And it's kind of like when Alabama plays Georgia in football, when the game gets close at the end, Alabama always wins because Georgia is not used to those situations like Alabama. So, Auburn's won close games, but they're playing a real team, and I think Bama wins 85 to 76.
85 to 76. All right, that's a little bit lower than I have going into this game. What do you think? Who's your MVP for a game like this?
The Auburn transfer, Aiden Holloway, bro. He's going to ball out. I say he's going to drop 23.
Man, wouldn't that be a storyline? Former Auburn transfer Aiden Holloway comes through with a big dub to beat his former team. I could see that. Wait, would you agree? Earlier I was saying that Grant Nelson has this big game ability. Have you seen that from him as well? What are your thoughts on his play this season? Because I think when we go back down the stretch and when you look to what he's done this season compared to last season, clearly he's the guy that we thought he was going to be, and he's providing offense, boards, even defense for Alabama. Your take?
Yeah, he was good last year, but he just wasn't consistent. But this year, Kentucky, he dropped 20 in the first half against Kentucky.
Yep.
And then there's some other games too, I think that LSU game where Mark Sears got benched, I think he had he was either injured or he had an attitude problem. And Alabama, they played way better without Mark Sears, and that just shows how deep this team is. So and that's the thing I love about Alabama, because last year they made a run, but they ain't gonna win it because they don't got no depth. But this year they got Chris Youngblood. He's been a dog.
Oh my goodness, that dude is so good.
Mark Sears, Clifford, the center.
Yeah, Amori.
Just some other dudes too. And I feel like Alabama can take anybody. Duke, Auburn, Tennessee. We'll play them. Give us anybody because they don't want Bama.
All right, man. Anything else you want to hit on, man, while you're on the show?
Yes, sir. We got to talk some football now. So, I mean, do you think Keelan Russell has like a real chance to win the job?
Yeah, no, I do. And I keep going back and forth because if I had to like name your starter right now, I would say Ty Simpson. But like I was telling you guys earlier on the show, I was watching Keelan Russell. Yo, it's not hard to add weight, right? If I mean it is for some people, but I think here at the University of Alabama they will put him on like some sort of system to where adding 10 pounds or whatever he needs to add. Who knows? I have no, but like based on his overall abilities, if this guy comes in, think about this. The offensive coordinator was not here last year. So it's kind of like a new starting ground for all the quarterbacks. You could say, I get it, it's the same system, but Ryan Grubb, I get it. Nick Sheridan's like quarterbacks coach. Ryan Grubb is going to put the best quarterback at the starting spot. He has to. Especially getting fired from the Seahawks. I think he has a little bit of, some pride on that too. So I think that kind of you're starting from ground zero with the quarterbacks, kind of in a way. And yeah, if this guy's ready to go, I mean, from the highlights that I saw, like, and I love Ty Simpson, and Austin Mack, I want to see more of him. But yeah, I kind of do. If he's ready to go, yeah, which would be great. Which I would love. I would love to follow a freshman like him starting at Alabama. I don't know if that'll happen.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: as Ty Simpson, I know we haven't really seen him that much playing wise, but like, this is his fourth year in their system. I'm pretty sure, fourth or third. When you see Ty Simpson play, even a little bit, who does he remind you of? Because I know some people say Mac Jones. Like, I think passing comes from Mac Jones, but he's fat. I think he has like Mac Jones like throwing ability, and I think he has like Jet Coker mobility. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's an interesting question. I mean, I know he's left-handed, but honestly, I kind of think I kind of go back to like my 49er days, and Ty Simpson's not left-handed, but the quarterback I'm going to compare him to is left-handed, and that's Steve Young. I see a lot of seriously, like his overall athleticism. Just wait, like go back. I've been watching a lot of film on Ty Simpson. The guy has an elite running ability as well. And I know you're like, oh my goodness, this guy can run. No. Like he's pass first and he can work the intermediate routes. The guy has exceptional ability to pick up yards with his feet. I'm serious. So that's probably like, if I go back, that's kind of who I compare him to. Kind of similar size. I think Steve Young was a little bit heavier. But yeah, that's it, man. But I got to move to my next caller. But I appreciate you joining in. And thanks for always your support, bro. Good to hear from you.
All right. All right, one last thing though.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that what you just said, do you think Ty Simpson? I'm gonna wrap this up. You think Ty Simpson? That kind of reminds me of Joe Burrow a little bit. You see any Joe Burrow in him?
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Joe Burrow is like, and we just haven't had this. We haven't seen like Joe Burrow. The thing about him is if anybody threw a prettier deep ball than Tua, it was Joe Burrow, which that's true. But we just haven't seen Ty Simpson like deliver because just lack of opportunity. So maybe that will come at some point in time. Just haven't seen him throw many passes over like 20 yards.
True. All right,
man. Take it easy. Have a good Friday, man. Take it easy. See ya. All right. Roll Tide to you, man. All right. We got a 601 and an 864 coming up right here on this Feel Good Friday. Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube, 205-850-1994 every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Time. You know the place. You know the time. Oh, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm just feeling good today. I'm excited about the game tomorrow. Got the workout in. I'm going to this my first men's prayer group. It's through my group. So I think it's like once a month. This will be my first time. One of the areas I'm trying to build up in my life is spirituality. So I want to go hang out with the guys and see how it goes out. I'll keep you guys posted. Let's see. Dexter Daniels, what's up, man? I like the 2013 team. Bentley Boy, what's up? Alabama basketball winning the Natty. I forgot, man. Chris Youngblood. Whew. I think he might be my favorite player. And either him or Mo Diabate. All right. 601. Yo, is this Jay from Pensacola?
You know it.
Jay, what's up, man? Feel Good
How you
Friday.
doing,
Come
Cal?
with it, bro. I'm doing amazing. You doing all right?
I'm doing great, Cal. I'm coming through Arkansas right now. Here, this is Pennsylvania.
How's the
I'm
weather?
with
How's the weather?
Eagles,
How's
Super
the
Bowl champion.
How's the weather up there?
It's pretty out here. It's pretty and cold. I like it. I love the
Yeah,
cold.
it was cold.
pretty
It was
up
cold here too in Tuscaloosa today. But all right, man. So, be safe. You're going up to Super Bowl country. What's on your mind, man?
I'm caught with the positivity today. I was negative about Nick Sheridan. Well, first and foremost, I want to say God is the greatest. Jesus is the greatest. That's first of all. Second of all, maybe Nick Sheridan can be quarterback whisperer. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see on that. I want to comment on that Jalen Waddle and Ryan Williams. I feel like the only way I give it to Jalen Waddle, he had better quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And he had better coordinators too. So yeah, that's on there. But my question for you is, how good is our QB2 or QB3? You know, in the past we've been in a situation like Tua got hurt in the Mississippi State game. Mac Jones had to come in. Bryce got hurt, and Jalen Murray had to step in. So how good is our second quarterback? First of all, I hope our quarterbacks are durable. First of all of them. And if they get hurt, who's our best backup quarterback? Who's going to rely on?
I mean, look, the dark horse in all of this is clearly Austin Mack. I personally liked what I saw from him last year. I know that Dylan Lonergan, I guess, was the next quarterback after Ty to go in, but I kind of felt that they kind of did that out of loyalty rather than like who the best quarterback, who was better, Dylan Lonergan or Austin Mack. And I think Dylan Lonergan is going to be a fine quarterback for Boston College. I just think it says a lot that Austin Mack, in my opinion, was better than Dylan Lonergan. That's just me watching football, just watching these guys, just like you guys did in the small opportunities. I felt if I had to put in a quarterback, I would have put in Austin Mack over Dylan Lonergan in like an emergency situation. So with that being said, I think the quarterback room is really talented. I like the fact that they only have 3 quarterbacks. I'm kind of curious to see if like going forward, if Alabama brings in another quarterback, I know that would cause a continued like meltdown. But who's to say with this crazy transfer portal window, and I'm not trying to put scary thoughts into anybody's mind, but what happens if like Keelan Russell just comes in and just balls out of control and it's just like crazy? He just like slices up in springtime, throws 3 touchdowns and is just like on point, and they're like, look, there's no way to spin it. This guy's going to be the starter. What happens if Ty Simpson gets like an offer in the transfer portal? I mean, I just think that this spring game could be a springboard platform for players to, you know, either they might not be happy with where they are in the depth chart, or they might ball out and get a crazy offer. That's why I was even hearing that in the future, the spring football might turn into like OTAs, kind of similar to like NFL. I don't know if that'll happen, but think about it. ESPN, all eyes going to be watching Alabama football. There's going to be like 5 guys who are reserves for Alabama who ball out. Happens every single year. Think about this. Who scored 3 touchdowns last year for Alabama in their spring game? Justice Haynes. Is he on the roster anymore? No. Did he leave because of the spring game? No, but I'm just telling you, there's going to be a couple reserve guys that ball out. And if you look at the quarterback position, who's to say that can't happen at the quarterback position? I don't know. What else you got, Jay?
You know, I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this. I don't care.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't think we need to televise. I don't think we need to have spring games, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree with it because it gives them an opportunity to poach our players.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in our fandom of Alabama, we don't need it because it wasn't like it was back then. It is way worse now. So I don't feel like we need to have it. I mean, a lot of people might not agree with that, but like you said, if our most of our tools are good enough to start somewhere else.
Yeah, I know, and you're basically
And,
just going to put
and
these guys on display, to be poached,
exactly.
right? Yeah, I know.
That's how I got Kyle. So you have a
All right,
great
man.
day.
Be safe on the road, bro.
Have an amazing day.
All right. Text us when
Have
you
a good
get
one.
there. All right. See ya. All right. Text us when you get there, Jay, on the way to Super Bowl country in Philly. I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube, 205-850-1994. This is your Feel Good Friday show. I hope you guys are off to a fantastic start on this Feel Good Friday. And, big game taking place tomorrow. I'll have some sort of coverage tomorrow, like either a post-game show or I don't know. We'll do something. All right, 864, let's do it. All right, welcome into the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
You're on the line with Roshan Smith, and I'm calling in from Lawrence, South Carolina.
All right, Roshan, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, man. Welcome on in the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. So I want to just talk about the upcoming season,
Okay.
because I know, like, with the fact that we had not a bad season due to Bama's our standard.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is I'm very optimistic going into this season because we don't know who our quarterback is, or more so who's going to win the job. So my thing is, are you confident or optimistic about this coming season, or do you feel like we're going to be a good team? Like,
yeah, Roshan, first of all, I appreciate you calling in. I know it's your first time calling in, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I think what makes me optimistic is, I'll be honest, just the fact that you get Ryan Grubb in. I agree with you. I just feel that while we are really excited about Coach Kalen DeBoer, it was because of his staff. And when I say staff, it's that he was connected to Ryan Grubb. It was almost kind of like a package deal in a sense. And when you started diving into Ryan Grubb, you were getting really excited. So when that stuff didn't, when Grubb didn't come here, it was a setback. And I think we did see that setback affect Alabama on the field this past year. So now going into this next season with Ryan Grubb here before spring football, I think it's a huge reason to be optimistic. Plus, whether or not you liked Jalen Milroe and all that stuff, he regressed and he wasn't the quarterback that we thought he was going to be. So the biggest breath of fresh air, just overall, and we wish Milroe the best going forward, and we're going to root for him in the NFL. We just want to see a new quarterback. It's been a long time. It's been a long 2 years, and that's it. So those are the two reasons, and the third reason, I think, is the fact that you have so many guys on defense coming back. And just because you have guys coming back, that doesn't always mean it's going to be a better thing. But in this particular case, I think it is. LT Overton's coming back. Damani Jackson's coming back. Deontay Lawson, he's coming back when he's healthy, right? Tim Keenan, he's coming back. I could rattle off like 5 more guys. So Ryan Grubb, new quarterback, defensive returners. And I think when you look at it that way, and then maybe the fourth thing would be 3 starters on the offensive line. That's exciting. And some of the things that I'm nervous about, and I've been open about this, is I think it's a very challenging schedule, harder than last year. And the other thing is you have new specialists at every single position. We don't always talk about special teams, but you ever had a bad snapper? Yeah, we have. On special teams? No, we don't want that to happen. New kicker, new punter, new snapper, new holder. So what else you got, Roshan?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do you like the new NLI stuff? Because I know it's been how you have a bunch of teams tampering with players, and then you got players transferring in and out. But I will say, like, the only thing that I'm not too worried about, because when players leave, then there's another guy to fill that spot. So I'm confident that we're gonna have more players, fill some of those spots that we have with players that left or whatnot,
Yeah, I'll answer on the other line, Roshan. But thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Okay.
All right, man. Take it easy,
you.
man. Yep.
You have a good one.
You too. All right, that was Roshan calling in from South Carolina. Yeah, I think, in this NIL space and things that have happened with college football, it's created a lot of things that we are not used to. And now It's kind of like the Wild West in college football, college athletics overall. The thing that I'm most worried about right now is not necessarily NIL. It's just kind of this next transfer portal window that's coming up. And that's where I think it's going to be impactful for Alabama in all programs really is teams are always going to be able to pay and have starters, but the reserves who used to be 5 and 4 stars that could contribute right away that were reserves are no longer there and no longer in development. For example, Alabama's fine this year inside linebacker, right? Deontay Lawson, Nikhai Hill-Green, Justin Jefferson. But they no longer have Justin Okoronkwo. And whether you want to say, like, if they're not about it, we don't care about him because he's not with the Crimson Tide. Justin Okoronkwo was in development. And if he could have just waited one more year, that guy is going to have a fantastic, season. I would imagine this year with South Carolina, but next year he would have been that much better. You no longer have that. And that's going to be hard to continue to keep the roster together going forward for everybody. Like this running back room, there's no way all these guys are back for this next season. It's zero chance, right? You can't keep all these guys and continue to recruit. Like Xavier Crowell, this guy in the class of 2026, you think he wants to come here when he looks at all of Alabama's running backs that are already on the roster, right? I mean, maybe so, but, A.K. Deer's here. Kevin Riley's here. Daniel Hill is here, right? Richard Young's here. Draylon Washington is here. Jam Miller is here. So, no, it's completely changed kind of the landscape. But that's your show today. That's your Feel Good Friday show. And I hope that you enjoyed the show. I hope that you have a blessed rest of your Friday. I know it's one day away from Alabama and Auburn. Tomorrow, number 1 versus number 2 right here in beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're a fan funder, if you checked out our Patreon account, I appreciate it. These are also uploaded to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But plain and simple, I appreciate you guys always rocking with me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful day. And as news happens, or on Monday through Friday, and probably tomorrow too after the game, right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for watching.